The Whispering Shadows of Dunwich. The arrival. The morning fog lay thick over the isolated village of Dunwich as I disembarked from the rickety old bus, the driver casting a wary eye upon me as he rumbled away. I had been warned of the desolate nature of this place, the stories that whispered behind closed doors of the strange inhabitants and the shadows that lurked in the darkness. Yet, my curiosity had brought me here, compelled by the letters I had received from my old friend and mentor, Professor Edward Ainsworth. Ainsworth had come to Dunwich to study the antiquities hidden within the crumbling remnants of a once prosperous town. He was an esteemed professor of archaeology at Miskatonic University and a man whose intellect I had always admired. The letters began as mundane accounts of his research into the ancient ruins and buried artifacts. However, as the weeks wore on, his writings took a troubling turn. His words grew erratic, and his descriptions of the village's history devolved into a tangled web of dark myths, ghostly apparitions, and strange, inexplicable events. Alarmed by the change in my friend's demeanor, I resolved to travel to Dunwich to ascertain the truth of the matter and, if necessary, provide aid to the good professor. I made my way toward the village's only inn, the creaking sign hanging above the door proclaiming it as the Drunken Crow. The locals eyed me with suspicion as I entered, their murmured conversations dying away as they studied the newcomer in their midst. I could feel their gaze upon me, the weight of unspoken warnings and secrets they dared not share. I quickly secured a room and inquired about Professor Ainsworth's whereabouts. The innkeeper, a gaunt, hollow-eyed man, hesitated before he revealed that Ainsworth had taken up residence in an old, abandoned house near the village outskirts. Armed with this knowledge, I ventured forth, navigating the winding, cobblestone streets of Dunwich. The village seemed to be perpetually shrouded in an eerie gloom, the sun's rays struggling to penetrate the thick fog that enveloped the ancient, decaying buildings. As I approached the house where Ainsworth was said to dwell, I felt a growing sense of unease, as though the very air was charged with a malignant energy that seeped into my bones. 2. The House of Whispers. The house itself was a crumbling edifice, a testament to the ravages of time and the dark secrets it concealed. Its walls were adorned with creeping vines, and the windows gazed out like hollow, vacant eyes. As I raised my hand to knock on the weathered door, it creaked open, revealing the gloom that awaited within. The interior of the house was just as decayed as its exterior, the rotting floorboards groaning beneath my feet as I ventured further into the darkness. I called out for Ainsworth, my voice echoing through the empty halls. There was no response, save for the whispers that seemed to slither through the shadows, growing louder as I descended into the bowels of the house. The walls were lined with ancient, leather-bound tomes, their pages filled with cryptic symbols and unsettling illustrations. Among them, I found Ainsworth's journal, the ink still wet on the final entry. The journal detailed his discoveries in Dunwich, the forgotten relics that spoke of a civilization that predated known history, and the strange, otherworldly beings that they worshipped. As his research progressed, Ainsworth became obsessed with an ancient artifact known as the Shadowstone. The relic was said to possess the power to open a gateway between dimensions, allowing the beings that lurked beyond the veil of our reality to enter our world. It was said to have been hidden deep within the caverns beneath Dunwich, guarded by ancient enchantments and unspeakable horrors. As I read on, I could feel the tendrils of madness beginning to take hold of Ainsworth's mind, his writing growing more feverish and desperate as he detailed his attempts to locate the Shadowstone. The final entry in the journal spoke of a hidden passage within the house, one that led to the very caverns where the relic was believed to reside. Ainsworth had resolved to venture forth, to confront the horrors that lay within and claim the power of the Shadowstone for himself. His final words were a dire warning: "Beware the Whispering Shadows, for they are the heralds of the abyss, and their touch brings only madness and despair." 3. The Descent. With a sense of foreboding gnawing at my soul, I searched the house for the hidden passage. The whispers grew louder, clawing at the edges of my sanity as I discovered a concealed door beneath the rotting floorboards. The darkness beyond seemed to beckon, a yawning void that promised untold horrors and secrets that man was not meant to know. I descended into the darkness, armed with only a flickering lantern and my determination to uncover the fate of my friend. The passage led me deeper and deeper into the earth, the weight of the stone pressing in around me as the whispers grew more insistent. The walls of the caverns were etched with grotesque carvings, depicting scenes of ancient rituals and unspeakable sacrifices. The air grew colder, the shadows thicker, and I could feel the presence of something ancient and malevolent lurking in the depths. 4. The Whispering Shadows. As I delved deeper into the caverns, I stumbled upon a vast, underground chamber. The walls were adorned with shimmering, iridescent crystals that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. At the center of the chamber lay the Shadowstone, an obsidian monolith that seemed to drink in the light around it. The whispers had grown into a cacophony, a discordant symphony of voices that threatened to tear apart my very soul. There, at the base of the monolith, I found Ainsworth. His body was twisted and broken, a mere shell of the man I had once known. His eyes were wide and unseeing, his lips moving in a silent, eternal scream. The shadows around him writhed and whispered, their tendrils reaching out to ensnare me as they had ensnared my friend. In that moment, I knew that I could not claim the power of the Shadowstone without succumbing to the madness that had claimed Ainsworth. I had no choice but to flee, to escape the darkness and leave my friend to his fate. As I ran, the whispers pursued me, clawing at my sanity, and I knew that the darkness would haunt me for the rest of my days. The departure. I emerged from the hidden passage, gasping for breath as I stumbled back into the decaying house. The shadows still clung to me, their whispers echoing in my ears, a constant reminder of the horrors that lay beneath Dunwich. I could not stay in that accursed place, knowing that the darkness would forever haunt me. I gathered my belongings and left the village, vowing never to return. As I boarded the rickety old bus that would carry me away from Dunwich, I could feel the weight of the villagers' gaze upon me. They knew that I had ventured into the darkness and had emerged forever changed. The whispers still echoed in my ears, a constant reminder of the horrors that I had left behind. I knew that the darkness would follow me, a shadow that would forever cling to my soul. In the years that followed, I tried to forget what had transpired in that forsaken village. I threw myself into my work, seeking solace in the pursuit of knowledge, and tried to drown out the whispers that still haunted me. But the darkness would not be silenced, and the shadow of Dunwich loomed over me, a specter of my past that could never be banished. My dreams were plagued by visions of the Shadowstone, the darkness that called to me from the depths of the earth. I knew that I could never escape the lure of the abyss, the pull of the ancient, malevolent power that had claimed my friend and threatened to claim me as well. As the years wore on, I felt the whispers grow stronger, the shadows growing darker, and I knew that I could not resist their pull forever. I began to understand that the darkness was not a curse to be feared, but a power to be embraced, a force that could unlock the hidden secrets of the universe and grant me knowledge that mankind had only dared to dream of. And so, I returned to Dunwich. The village was even more desolate than I remembered, the decay having claimed more of its ancient buildings, the fog even thicker than before. The villagers watched me with hollow eyes, their faces lined with the weight of the secrets they carried. They knew that I had come to embrace the darkness, and they did not try to stop me. I returned to the crumbling house, the whispers welcoming me home as I descended once more into the depths. The darkness embraced me, its tendrils wrapping around me as I claimed the power of the Shadowstone. The whispers grew louder, merging with my own thoughts until I could no longer distinguish between them. As I stood in the darkness, the power of the abyss coursing through me, I knew that I had become one with the shadows, a herald of the ancient beings that lurked beyond the veil of our reality. The darkness would forever be a part of me, and I would forever be a part of it. The whispering shadows of Dunwich had claimed me, and I would never be free.